Hello, my name is Ashika Soorju and I am the founder of AMS Corporate Training Solutions. So today I would like to just talk a bit about mental and emotional health and the things that maybe people are not conscious of, or maybe we just don't give enough attention to. But we all are doing the best we can, and life is not easy. We all are having to deal with challenge after challenge, and oftentimes life doesn't give you a chance to stop, to recollect, to rewind, or to even just pause and figure out what to do next. So a lot of us are unconsciously sitting with multiple traumatic events that we've gone through, and then you read or you find out that a colleague, someone you know, has committed suicide. Now I want to talk about this specifically with regard to our men. And men in general are among the highest for suicide in this country. As per the South African Psychiatrists Association and a publication that they've released recently, South Africa is ranked among the top 10 for the highest number of suicides in the world. And of the 13,774 cases that have been reported, over 10,000 of them have been reported to be men. So we just want to talk a little bit about the stigma, and some of the difficulty that men may face in reaching out for help and support. So it's not uncommon for men to feel criticized or condemned or made to feel like they are weak, because we have placed them in a position of being the pedestals of our society. We've placed them in a position of they having to be the protectors and providers, and they really don't have enough space to say how they feel safely, or to actually even admit that they are not coping. And this is the sad reality, because how many of our men suffer chronic illness, heart attacks, and mainly suicide when we look at the statistics. If we are not okay, it is vital that we reach out for help and support. In this day and age, we need to break the stigma that if something is impacting us mentally and emotionally, that something's wrong with us. There is nothing wrong with you. You are human going through an experience which is challenging you beyond the level of which you know how to manage. And the more information you have about how to manage it, about how to self-regulate, the easier it becomes for you to steer clear of things like suicide. And the people who are attempting suicide are those who have had such intensive trauma that has not been resolved. There's not been any support for them, and they haven't felt like there is any way out. So I'm here today to say, what if we just allow ourselves to be human? What if we allow ourselves, man or woman, just to be human? And life is difficult. Whatever the challenge is, you're doing the best you can. Just as anyone else, any female is entitled to help and support, so are you. Let's make it normal, like you would go to a doctor when you have a cold and flu. Let's make it normal for you to seek out help and support from a therapist, someone to talk to, without judgment, without criticism, just to make you feel seen and heard. The number one reason why people feel isolated and their stress compounds is because they are really not having one of the three human needs met: to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. Okay, and let's put being loved right at the very last, because people don't even get a chance to be seen and heard. So when you're having a challenge, when you're having something difficult that you're going through, as a man, who do you speak to? If you are expected to have everything in order, to hold it all together, to be the cornerstone of support for everyone. The reality is we are working with something that has been around for a long time. It's not something new that men have not ever been allowed to express their feelings. This is from the way we condition our boys. If you've ever heard people loosely saying, you're crying like a girl, and this is a term that will be thrown at a young boy who is probably expressing his feelings. So from a very young age, boys are taught, males are taught, that it's not safe for you to express how you feel. It is not okay for you to have any kind of emotion. Does that mean you do not have or you do not feel? And that's not the way it is. Absolutely, you have feelings. Absolutely, you feel. I'm just here to say, let's make it okay not to be okay. Guys, it is okay to cry. You know, the very nature of emotion is that it seeks a place to be expressed, and crying is that way of expression. Let us make it normal. Let us make it okay when we are not feeling okay, just to reach out, to look for support, to say that I'm not okay. For those of us who are working in safety critical environments, I want you to understand how vital this information is for you. When you're going through something challenging, when you are having some emotional turmoil that is disturbing you mentally and emotionally, it does impair your ability to concentrate. It impairs your ability to make clear judgments. And this will compromise your safety when you are working in an environment that is safety critical. For your safety, for the safety of others, it's vital that you reach out, that you say, I'm not okay, I don't feel well, I don't feel well enough to work on this machine today, or I'm going through something personal and I need some assistance. Let us make it normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You are simply going through a challenge in life like a lot of us do. Many of you have possibly had the experience of losing someone that you love, to suicide. And the reality of someone who's going through suicide is that they've gone through so much of mental and emotional trauma, they have not had the emotional safety to reconcile what they have gone through from an experiential process, and they haven't had the support either. And with nowhere to turn, because no one can solve the challenge that they are in, it just becomes insurmountable in their mind. And the only way is suicide. That's the only way out. That's the level of pain that a human being who attempts suicide actually feels. They feel no way out. They feel that there's no solution and there isn't anyone that they can turn to. So the level of pain is what drives them to such a severe act. It takes a lot of courage to actually commit a suicide, to take your own life. It takes an immense amount of courage to do something like that. Contrary to the belief that people who commit suicide are weak, they actually are possibly one of the most emotionally resilient people who cannot just take anymore. So when you are going through something difficult, I really hope that you would find it within yourself to seek support, to look for someone who can help and support you. And there are people that are out there. There is options that are available to you here. Those of you that are in safety critical environments, I really hope that you will you will use the opportunity that is there and keep yourself safe and everyone else safe too.